Well, I got to spend a good amount of time with her the last week of her life.
Yeah.
Being here, kind of representing the family that was out of town, felt very...
Representing me, surely.
Yeah, we were on, I mean, that's how Norma and I met. We fell in love on
the telephone.
Yeah, we did.
We adopted her. She's our honorary cousin.
And we were emailing, and all of a sudden it's like, it's funny when, I remember when one of the times you hung up, you said, I love you, and I could hear that you, like, almost like, I just said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
No, it was very natural.
Yeah.
But, through Dinah, but one of the things I'll tell you, the first day that she was missing, and then we found her in the hospital on Sunday, my mom and I ran over there, and she was like, Dinah, you don't look like you belong in the hospital. You know, she was totally fine. And at that point, hadn't spoken to her, I didn't even know she had the heart attack, and then when I found out, I didn't even tell her, so I didn't think she knew. But I realized that she had the peace of mind. Her button didn't work. I'd fallen and I can't get up didn't work. But she had 4 o'clock in the morning, had the peace of mind to pick up the phone and call 911. Because she said she had trouble breathing. So yeah, it was a mystery. She left the phone off the hook. So she got there in her robe and just her keys that she had. So she didn't have anything else with her. So I had with my mom with me, and then I said, you know what? Done is better. I said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to, we're going to go to the apartment. We got the neighbor door to open the apartment for us. And I told her, I said, what do you need? So she says, well, I need, my partials. I said, okay. And then I went and I collected a few more things. We got her purse, and I just bought her some underwear and just whatever, toothbrush, just odds and ends. And brought it back, and at that point I dropped my mother off. I was gone for an hour and 15 minutes, and I come back, and there's 7 people in the room. And it was like, they almost had needed to incubate her. So it was like, then all of a sudden it was like, where'd Dinah go? So then she had, the mask on and everything. So I stayed with her until she fell asleep. I wasn't going to leave.
She remembered that.
It's interesting because the next day she didn't remember.
Oh, no, really? She told me that. She said April stayed with me until night.
Oh, my gosh, she did.
That was our last talk on Thursday when we know that they were with her. And maybe you would tell us about your last day with her, because it was just, a day of laughter.
Yeah,
Well, the first thing she said to me when I got there was, it's about time.
I know.
That's right.
She knew, though, because she said to me, you were coming, first she took Thursday, then Tuesday, she said Monday, so she knew. So what happened was
When did you sing to her?
That night, I sang to her. Yeah, I have actually a very sweet story to tell as a continuation. I don't want to dominate the room, but I could shut up if you want me to. But I've got a lot of stories because I was just, certainly I thought she was going to die that night. I really did. And I was supposed to come back and have dinner with Jan. He comes home early, and I called him up. I said, I'm not going anywhere. And I just held her hand, and then they had put mittens on her because she was just so, she was trying to get out of bed. She was, she kept trying to rise out of bed, and I kept saying, are you uncomfortable? Because she kept playing with the mask, and then she said no. But they didn't want her to talk because she was having trouble breathing. She wouldn't stop talking. I don't know what she was saying, but she just kept talking and talking. I'm like, Dinah, stop talking. I said, you're not supposed to talk. Then I she got one of the mittens off, actually, because she kept taking the mask off, and she needed it on. And then I just sort of took the other one off because I couldn't stand seeing her like that, and I just wanted to hold her hand. And I kept saying, "Don't move, they're going to put the stupid thing back on you," So she kind of calmed down, and I got her to smile a couple times. So I knew she was there, She'd make very strong eye contact with me, and but she was she was uncomfortable. But she had said she didn't remember that the next day. So
when I was there, we'd been to the house first, and I noticed that there was a tremendous amount of chocolate and candy there. And I said to her, so Mom, have you been eating, I don't even know why I said it, but I just said, you've been half kidding, half not kidding, have you been eating all this chocolate and this candy, not eating, real food? And she says, look, she said to me, she looked at me in a second, she said, look, if I had been eating all that stuff, it wouldn't be there.
Good point.
Sharp.
Oh, I like
that.
I like that.
She was sharp and witty till the end. She was joking. She had her senses until.
Well, yeah.
She was perfect, and she was, and of course that allowed her to charm everybody because she was witty, and so the nurses loved her, and the doctor loved her.
No, you know what they told me? When they couldn't find Dr. Salahi anywhere on the floor, they just went into Dinah's room.
And there she
was. Yeah, we were there when a nurse was complaining. This wee little Russian nurse couldn't have been more than 5 feet, 4 feet 5, shorter than Mom. And she was giving him a hard time. You know, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. And he was just hanging out. He just wanted to hang out with Dinah.
She reminded him of his grandmother who was like 96 and who had plans for her to meet.
That's right, they were going to meet.
I said, absolutely, because he wanted her to meet us, you know, because... well, what happened was, it was interesting, too, because the next day, I remember that very next morning, after she fell asleep, I sang to her, and I'll get back to that story later, but, so, after she fell asleep, I made sure I gave the nurse my phone number, and then I called like 8 o'clock the next morning. And they said she was still the same. And then it was only like 3 hours later that I spoke to Norma. She's like, oh, I just had a conversation with Dinah. I said, what do you mean you just talked to Dinah? I was like, you know, so she says, yeah, she's fine. I'm like, oh my God. So I was...
Yeah, she said, I'm not singing and dancing yet, but they're going to release me on Monday.
Yeah, right. So when we went back the next day, because I originally had made the slideshow, and I said, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. And I had just gotten pictures, I think, from Ellen, too, and I brought the disc with me to show her all the other pictures. So I made the slideshow, so I sat my computer on her bed, and I started showing her the slideshow, and here she is, Maria, look at this picture over here. She's calling every nurse by their first name, every doctor, and so we saw the slideshow like 3 times because she kept showing, look at my family, look at my this, look at my that, this was my party, and she just like commanded the whole place. It was like amazing, but she already knew everyone by their first name, and I could just see, I didn't see that process where she'd probably say to the person, what's your name? You know, she was so good.
Okay,